Hi, this is Nora De Silva. Today's episode is about nutrition. I am pleased to have with me today Mr. Christian Johnson. He is a certified nutritional practitioner. We will talk about food, healthy nutrition, and healthy choices to improve our health on a daily basis. Hi, Mr. Christian. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming today into my channel and your willingness to share the information with us today.
My pleasure.
Can you explain the role of nutrition in overall health and well-being?
Yes, nutrition is really the foundation of overall health and well-being, mainly because it provides the body with essential nutrients. So the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fats, and the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals.
How does a person's nutrition need to be changed as the person ages?
So it does change over time. Earlier in life, it's about growth and development. So it's making sure that there's adequate nutrients for growth. So things like vitamin D, calcium for bone development. And as we get older, we want to try to prevent deficiencies, and it will be tailored depending, each person will be different. But over time, as we get older, we get into senior citizens, we get into trying to maintain bone health again. So preventing bone loss. So again, vitamin D, calcium, B12 is another issue with an older population. So it definitely, protein's a big part of as we get older, but to prevent muscle loss. So we want to get enough protein.
Okay. What are some common nutrition deficiencies and how they can be addressed?
So some common ones, one of them would be iron deficiency. So that could manifest as many different symptoms. It could be weakness, tiredness, being pale. It has a lot of different physical symptoms. So iron supplementation is sometimes needed, and focusing on iron-rich foods. So with iron, though, it's always important to get blood work to confirm you're deficient. But in Canada, I would say the biggest deficiency would be vitamin D, because of the lack of sunlight through most of the year. Okay. So that would be a deficiency for sure.
How does nutrition impact our immune system?
So we need good nutrition for a good immune response. So we want to eat, enough fruits and vegetables, enough varieties of colors so we get those phytonutrients. Because when we're well nourished, we have a better immune response. If you're not getting good nutrition, you'll be more likely to get sick more often.
Okay. Can you explain the concept of balanced diet and what it contains?
So a balanced diet is a variety of foods. So all the food groups. So we want enough protein, fats, carbs in the right amounts. And we want to basically meet what we need to be healthy. So again, it's really different for everybody as to what they need, but they're whole foods and we have enough variety. That really is what the balance is for a balanced diet.
Okay. How does nutrition play a role in managing some chronic disease like diabetes and heart attacks?
So with diabetes, it's mostly about managing the carbohydrates. So it's not over-consuming unhealthy starches, sugars. We need to balance those, but we also need a balance of proteins and fats to balance our blood sugar. So that's one way. And again, with diabetes, fiber comes into play. It's very important because it slows the release of glucose into the bloodstream, which helps balance blood sugar. With heart disease, we want to focus on more of a Mediterranean style of eating. So again, lots of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins. Fiber comes into play again as well because that helps support good cholesterol levels as well. So we definitely want healthy fats as well with heart health. So the omega-3 fatty acids, which we get from fish, from nuts and seeds, that's important for heart health.
Perfect. What are your thoughts of popular diets like vegan or keto?
I think they all have their benefits. I like ketogenic diets because they help with metabolic health. So again, blood sugar, prevent metabolic syndrome, and also for weight management. Ketogenic diets are very good, but they're good in the short term. Long term, there could be some nutritional deficiencies. So I think they all have their place, but we got to focus again on whole foods and not consume too many processed foods when we're doing these diets. And all of these diets have processed foods that could be vegan, but they're not necessarily healthy. And the same with ketogenic foods. So yeah, you definitely want to focus on whole foods.
Okay. Can you provide some tips about how to keep healthy weight through nutrition?
So one of the first things that comes to mind is drinking enough water. We need to sometimes we're actually thirsty when we get those hunger symptoms.
Yes.
So we want to drink enough water. We want to eat regular meals. We want good sized portions. It comes back to fats and protein again, because they're the most satiating. So we're not quite as hungry. We don't want to overeat, but we don't want to undereat either, because we want to keep our metabolism going by eating regular meals.
Mm-hmm. What are some strategies for dealing with craving foods and emotional eating?
It's a good question. That's a tough one. I think that most of us can relate to.
Yeah.
I think the first thing with emotional eating is to identify the triggers, whether it's emotions or situations that trigger us. So it's definitely being mindful of that and actually eating mindfully, basically, having a good connection with our food and not overeating, having that balance. Again, with going to cravings, it goes back again to those macronutrients like fat and protein, because we might be less likely to crave sugar if we have enough protein with every meal.
Okay.
And I think it's important to swap out unhealthy foods for healthy foods as well. Mm-hmm. So don't have in your kitchen foods that fulfill those cravings. You want healthier alternatives.
Okay, so when you crave, maybe you put some nuts aside to help you, some
Exactly.
other healthy options, maybe oat bars or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have it there so that if you do have those cravings, those foods aren't there. You can consume something healthy.
Yeah, keep them handy.
Exactly.
Can you explain the role of fiber in our diets and how it is important?
So fiber is really important for digestive health.
Okay.
So preventing constipation. It also helps feed our microbiome, so our good bacteria.
Yeah.
It is also good for, again, that feeling of being full, so we don't overeat.
Yeah.
And then blood sugar, like I mentioned. So it's very important.
Regulate the blood sugar.
Yes.
Yeah. How we can ensure that we are getting enough vitamins and nutrition in our diet?
So food rotation and eating enough variety. Trying different foods, not eating the same foods all the time, and especially important with fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. So eating a variety, rotating your proteins as well, and healthy fats. Rotation's the main way that we can ensure it. Sometimes supplements are needed as well, but diet first whenever possible.
Sure. Can you explain the importance of nutrition on mental health?
Yes. Very important to mental health. We're learning more and more about this. B vitamins are very important for mental health, but fats, the omega-3s, probably have the most research for mental health. Cognitive function, how we feel. So again, for animal sources, fish sources, seafood, nuts and seeds have omega-3s, so you can get them from plant foods as well. But they really affect how we feel. And also going back to the variety of foods again, so we don't have nutritional deficiencies, that we're nourished, we have energy, we'll feel better.
Perfect. How can one develop a healthy relationship with food?
So the main thing is to not be too restrictive with how you eat. So don't do too many restrictive diets unless you need it for a specific health condition, but it should always be, in most cases, in the short term. So I think it's also important to know where our food's from. So when you can eat local, know the farmer, know where your food comes, develop that good relationship, and don't be too hard on yourself if you eat foods that maybe are unhealthy, because you can always reframe that and eat healthier foods going forward. So not be too hard on yourself. I think is the main
because
thing.
maybe when you hunger your system for something, then you have a reaction. You want to eat much of that.
Right.
And instead of eating little bit of starch, maybe healthy starch, sometimes sugar, sometimes once or twice a week. It's
okay. That's all okay, but it's
yes.
accepting that and not judging yourself.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Christian, for your time, your willingness to share the information with the audience. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys and girls, for watching us today, and I hope the episode of today you will make use of all the information in it. We'll see you soon in next episode. That was Nora De Silva. Thank you.